Hi everyone, I'm Yosia Pratam Sebayang. I'm from Indonesia and I would like to present my paper coming from my thesis research about the narrative of God for recovering drug addicts in Indonesia. I would like to apologize that we have to meet virtually under these circumstances as we are facing ourselves um, with a global problem of COVID-19. I would like to express my gratitude for Tomorrow People organization as they are organizing this. Although we are have to do this international conference on spirituality and psychology ICSP 2020 through virtually or online media, but I believe that they are able uh, to organize it really well. The paper that I'm presenting is a result coming from my thesis research as part of my qualification as I gain my postgraduate degree. The title for my thesis is The Narratives of God for Recovering Drug Addicts. It's a qualitative research on the narratives of God in the conversion testimonies of the recovering addicts in Indonesia. In my thesis research, I come with a problem statement that this research will explore the primary research question: how do recovering drug addicts in Indonesia construe their models of God in their conversion? I also would like to give my hypothesis for this research that the recovering addicts have different models of God in different stages of their transformation. This research is based on the research that's being held by Surgeon Cermak, that through the spiritual transformation and the process of conversion, a recovering addict will be able to prolong their abstinence process in recovery. As I'm looking into this research coming from Surgeon Cermak, I discovered that in the process of conversion, recovering addicts will encounter God in their lives and decided to follow through with their transformation. In reading this transformation and the narratives of conversion theologically, I will be using the theology coming from Emil Brunner about the faith, hope, and love, and to be able to understand who God is by recovering addict, I will be using the metaphorical theology coming from theologian Sally McFay. In this research, I discovered that the models of God is different for recovering addicts in their different stage of life. Coming from this research as well, I'm hoping to be able to present the models of God for the use of understanding the process of conversion for recovering drug addicts. From this stage, we are also able to understand how they are prolonging their abstinence period and how they discover their life as recovering addicts in the society. As I previously stated, that this research is based on Surgeon Cermak research in spiritual transformation. Sir Mac discovered that narratives are essential source of knowledge, and they are not merely a meaningless personal anecdote. And coming from their testimonies, it's a form to reconstruct an interpretation from their past and plan for their future in the framework. In research, I also have a research limitation. That is, one, a participant who has experienced some form of spiritual transformation. Two, a participant who has been abstinent for at least 4 years. Three, a participant who is 18 years of age or older. Four, a participant who is motivated to participate. Five, a participant who is available after the interviews for subsequent follow-up questions. For this research, I discovered 8 subjects of research, and they all are anonymous. All the 8 subjects are coming from 3 different recovery programs. The first program is a breakthrough rehabilitation program. It is a religious-based rehabilitation with the approach of pastoral counseling and Christian religious teaching. The second is the Narcotic National Board program. It is a rehabilitation center that is owned by the government. They use the therapeutic community rehabilitation program, as they use the behavior shaping method in the facility itself. The third is the Narcotic Anonymous program. It is a 12-step spiritual program and a support group that they are using in the form of meetings and working the spiritual 12-step program. As we are based our research with the Surgeon Cermak methodology, we are classifying the narratives coming from the 8 subjects with 4 categories. 1 is family, 2 is social influence, 3 is personal inadequacy, 4 is criminal behavior factor. All these categories are explaining the reason as they coming into addiction, and we are also analyzing the narratives of the conversion using the seven analyzing reason. 1 is the rock bottom experience. 2 is the therapeutic community as a new narrative audience. 3 is the conversion as a shame management. 4 as a forgiveness versus guilt. 5 as a meaning and addiction. 6 as a spiritual warfare discourse. And 7 as a deconversion. As we can see from the screen, we are able to categorize the 8 subjects' reason for addiction and the reason for conversion. Now, we are going to read the narrative using the Emil Brunner's faith, hope, and love theology to understand their moment of past, present, and future. Emil Brunner is a Swiss theologian and a pastor in the Swiss Reformed Church. Brunner's approach to pastoral care was manifested through his concern for the struggle between human welfare and faith. Emil Brunner's understand faith as a mystical experience, namely becoming one with Christ. Indeed, it is an encounter with the living God. And Brunner's also stated that in Christian hope, we have certainty in Christ, God, through Christ is a form of personal action in our life. This is a form of love that God has given to us and to the world. Bruners perceive God's love as found in agape. Agape is the love that will fill the emptiness of your soul. Agape will motivate you to share the love that you have. In relating faith to hope, Bruners elaborate the role of hope as it relates to our future. In our lives, we always use hope as part of our expectation and planning, although there is fear in looking to the future. And coming from the narrative, we try to understand the metaphorical God coming from the narrative of conversion. We are using the metaphorical theology by theologian Sally Maffei. Sally Maffei perspective. Her perspective is that we can understand how metaphors as a form of language will bring us closer to the underlying meaning. In order to express the reality of who God is, we need to have an understanding form of our level of experience, as it will explains how metaphors come to describe the relation of human with the divine. Metaphor is an expression of our deepest feelings. Metaphorical theology is to give us freedom to build new language for our relationship with God, with the added warning to avoid the danger of the static metaphor. As we can see, coming from the 8 subjects, we can see how do they describe God in the moment of faith, in the moment of hope, and in the moment of love. This is the metaphor how they explain God in their lives. Coming from the metaphor as they stated in their narratives, we are able to draw a conclusion that we can identify the 3 distinction metaphor of God in the life of recovering addicts. 1. In the moment of faith, the metaphor of God is the God who is ignorant and irrelevant. 2. In the moment of hope, the metaphor of God is the God as a friend who cares and guides. 3. In the moment of love, the metaphor is God who gives a second chance and to serve others. That's the result or the conclusion coming from my research. If you have further question, please don't hesitate to contact me through my email or from the Tomorrow people, as they have all my contact details. I would be happy to answer all of your questions, and please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.